All right, I know this is a little extra, but I'm bored and unemployed, so, why not? So basically, you have your figure eight and you have your three sensors. Those are the main things that you have to worry about. Of course, you need to teach the sensors, what value of black that you're looking for, and, you need to teach your motors what these things mean. But basically, you want to make it so that it's for as much as possible. The medium sensor is the main one reading, stays basically on the center. The medium sensor is in the center of your car, so you want that to be on the center of your line. So the way that I did mine is I basically had, I want to say, in addition to the other ones, about five different subroutines determining movement. So I have one for when only the left sensor is touching. That senses it, which turns the robot car more this way so that it's closer to being aligned with the middle. The second one is if it's both of these, see it, then turn slightly that way. You don't need it to overcommit, you just need it to turn slightly. So this turns a lot this way because there's more distance. This one here in the middle turns slightly that way. I have one for the middle to just go forward. That trigger, so when the middle is on the line, when it wants to go straight. I also have it so that when all three are detected, it goes straight, so that when you hit here, where you have all three seeing it, it ignores that because it's never going to reach that point, except for when it crosses over the middle. Then I have one for these two sensing it to slightly move it to the middle, and I have one for over here to where it more extremely curves back onto here. Now you might ask, okay, Matt, that's cool and all, but what happens if I start to miss if it starts to miss the line? Well, that's the genius of it. The last thing that was sensed when it goes off like this was this right sensor. What that means is that the last command that it knows is to turn heavily in this direction. And so, it will turn heavily until it not just reads that again, but it reads both of these, then gets less extreme, and then you're back in the middle. It automatically adjusts. Heck, sometimes if it misses all the way, it'll do a big circle. It'll circle around, or on the other edge here. It'll go here, then circle, and do extreme turn, and then back to here like that. It will often autocorrect itself if this is the method that you use. That's how you get it working in the first place, and I highly recommend that you do it piece by piece. I got to this conclusion by I got this working by complete accident because I went for something simple immediately instead of going for the more complicated one that you may or may not have to do. So the other secret is if you're doing the race and you're trying to see who's fastest, two important things you have to keep in mind. One, you never want it so that the car is ever not moving. You want to make sure that the car is moving constantly, and you want to make it so that on your car, you have the four, you have your motors here, your two sides. You want to make sure that they're both spinning. It's just if on this turn, you want to make sure that this one, I believe, is spinning faster than this one. Think about it the way that a car works. You want these to not be moving as much because they're going a slower distance, and you want these to be moving a lot so that they're going a greater distance to turn better. For me to do to go at its fastest, I had it so that no matter what was happening, one of the motors, one of these things was going at maximum speed, literally the fastest the car could go. I do not recommend this when you're trying to get your car working. You will have the car flying away from you. But that's how I did it as far as speed. The other thing that I did was keep it simple. Every single time that it checks for any of these things, that takes up time. You got to remember, it's like a list. It's like a list of instructions. And the more instructions that you have, the longer that it will take for it to go through those instructions. The longer process you have, the worse it is at reading it. So if it takes, like, let's do an extreme example where if it takes a minute to fully read the code, it won't know what's what. It'll go off and it will be so slow that the last thing that it saw was this sensor, even though this is the one that's touching it right now. And it'll just go off in a random direction. That's how you do speed. If you want, I can dig through my computer, see if I still have the code, and I can go through some of it, but really it's not too bad. You just got to keep it simple.